Volume check. Molly, you're in my space, bro.
Come here.
Hey, Molly, what's going down? Oh, recovery pod, baby.
Yes, you are.
So.
Did you record?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't record. I am recording. Okay. Hey, you guys saw that? You saw it. It's on tape. That's what I live with every day.
What the fuck was that? Molly!
I was just chilling.
God.
I'm the star of the show. You fuck off. So,
my child.
What's going down? All right, so I do want to talk about one thing.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It's just another day.
You know what? That's so funny you said that.
Why?
Because I had a thought going through my head that was similar the past few days. And it was like, it wasn't in terms of it doesn't matter. Well, you know what? It was a thought it doesn't matter. But not the it's just another day thing. It was like, it was more of a it doesn't matter whatever happens.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of it's just another day.
Yeah.
In regards to New Year's Eve.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, it's 4/20, guys. It's my birthday. It's my recovery birthday. Oh no, it's getting close. I'm getting worried. You know, like it's just one of the things that I think just having New Year's just passed because like New Year's, 4th of July, birthdays, April 20th, 4/20 on the clock. All these things can be triggers because it's time, because it's dates, because of the meaning surrounding them, because really there is no difference between one moment or another. You know what I mean? It's like the moment I'm in right now, the now I'm always in is only altered or kind of dictated by the meaning of what I've already given to date, time, circumstance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, why does it matter if, oh my God, it's the 4th of July and everybody's drinking and I want to all of a sudden drink today? Because there's meaning behind what 4th of July is as far as what it used to mean to me, as far as, you know, what it means to society, as far as what the social norm is or what a lot of people are doing around me. Go ahead.
I'm listening. I'm waiting.
Go ahead.
Are you done?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with you 100%.
We're on the same page of something?
I like that is a great way of looking at it, and I've always like understood that. But I have to play the devil's advocate here.
I knew a butt was coming. I'm just gonna go like this. Like
ass is coming.
Rewind a little bit. I go like this right when she says butt. I knew it was coming. Go ahead.
So, first of all, let me tell you a little bit about the country I'm from when it comes to that.
Okay.
They have a holiday almost every other day.
Mm-hmm.
Because they need an excuse to celebrate. They need an excuse to party. Like, they're notoriously known for, Russia's known for a lot of people, like, drinking, vodka, blah, 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 shit like that. But, like, seriously, though, like, they just need to pick a day to fucking party. And they'll just, but, every day is something.
Like partying more than normal party? Like not just, it's Friday. Like, no, it's like 4th of July, but like...
We just want to celebrate something.
4th of the week.
We just want to celebrate something, Okay. And...
Happy New Day!
Right. And, there's a lot of thoughts I had, and I'm just trying to organize it here.
I'm sorry, am I distracting you?
The first thing I want to say is the devil's advocate. So...
Trying to make sure I don't look fat.
For example, would you say that New Year's Eve that we had yesterday, would you say it's one of the more fun days we've had?
Like ever?
Just around that time frame.
I guess it was fun.
Right. And would you say Christmas was also like a different type of vibe than all the other days?
Yes.
So the point being is each holiday has a certain stop a certain like vibe to it and a certain tradition that goes along with it, which
Mm-hmm.
makes it fun, you know? And I was on both sides of this, of the coin.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got out of rehab, I used to work holidays because I get double the money because I get money and it's just another day. But I also didn't really was I wasn't really family involved and whatever. So it was really like money focused. And all those, it didn't mean anything to me. And then all of a sudden, the past couple of years, I just decided to just let myself do what those typical things that people do, like that I was never first of all, I wanted to be like different than others and wanted to do things like a different way. That's my Aquarius ego thing. But um like for Christmas, I started to want to, you know, go get decorations and I wanted to just do all those things. And I'm fully aware that it's just another day. There's nothing special about that day. But it's almost as if the things that I've been doing to work up to that, it made it that special day when it did come, you know?
Days are special. There are special days.
Right.
My point of saying it was in regards to relapse thoughts and
Oh,
using,
okay.
since this is the recovery pod.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, like, yeah, there's days are special. My birthday's special. Some people think Fridays are special. If I go to a concert, it's going to be special. I'm going to do things. I'm going to have excitement and I'm going to, have routines on holidays as far as seeing people doing certain things. All good. But I'm talking about like the trigger to use because it's 4:20 on the clock. Oh, it's April 20th. Oh, it's New Year's. That's when everybody drinks. I feel triggered to
Oh,
drink. You know what I
okay.
mean? Like, um, in that regard, if I'm triggered to a point where I'm trying to make a decision based on this circumstance, you know what I'm saying? If all of like if I'm living a life of recovery, but all of a sudden I really want to have a drink on the 4th of July because that's what people do, or that's what I used to do, or because that's the type of like party options I have to attend, I have to remind myself like it's just another day, whether that's I'm going to the party, it's just another day. Like I don't have to celebrate this day by doing these socially acceptable traditional things. I don't have to go to a party at all if it means I'm going to be endangered or triggered. I don't have to, you know what I mean? Like in the essence, the meaning is what triggers me. It's not the day. It's not the time, it's not the date, it's the meaning that collectively people make these meanings, and it can feel like a bigger vibe and energy. And then if you add on top of it hanging around people who are doing it, going to places where it's being done, like add all these things in and it's really triggering. But it's not the day. The day means nothing. The day is simply like man-made calendar markings for the sake of convenience, so we're all on the same page. Like it has nothing to do with anything. We're just in a moment. So my only point was like, I think it's important to speak on if nobody's ever really heard of it because, or thought of it that way. Because, when it comes to like, oh, it's my birthday. Oh, it's like, I don't know, like my mom's anniversary, death day, these days have meaning, and we have to like acknowledge the meanings, but like we can be triggered to use over it, and in those moments it's really good to be like, whoa, stop, this is just it doesn't matter, it's just another day. You know what I mean? You a little following me a little better now?
Yeah, no, I totally just did not understand it the right way the first time.
Christmas means something, don't worry. But yeah, that's just something that like, because it used to really bother me when I first got sober, like the clock's about to hit 4:20. You know what I mean? Or I don't know, like certain, even like Fridays and Mondays don't phase me when I stay present. You know what I mean? Because Monday can come around, I can be like, oh, I gotta go back to work, and it's like, sure, if I'm gonna go into my work week with that type of sluggish energy, dreading my work week, then it's gonna be a long work week. You know what I mean? And if I get super excited on Friday, then yeah, I'm gonna have like this, anxiousness to get to Friday. You know what I mean? But it's like it's really just another day. If I just stay present, like who cares? It's Monday. All right, 8 o'clock Monday. Cool. Like I'm going to work. Like I'm just present doing my work, not thinking of how long the day is or how long the week is. And then come Friday, it's like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Relax a little bit. It's just something that kind of benefited me because, like, man, when I worked at a place where a lot of people worked Monday through Friday, it was Walmart. People would come in Monday with the worst attitudes and just dragging ass, and then like Friday, like, oh my god, backflipping, and it's like, I'm just chilling. Like, cool, yeah, Friday, I'm gonna enjoy it. And I really do. And then some Mondays, it's like, yeah, I got to start this again. But it's not this, you know.
So basically, what you're saying is the topic is how holidays can be triggering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say on that because I don't even know what to say.
Well, it's not something we have to stick to. I just figured with New Year's just passing, it would be cool to like. That's just something that was kind of on my mind. Um, just because it can be really triggering. And people have these, expectations like I have to go somewhere on New Year's, and maybe their only options are hanging with like their family members who are toxic, or their buddies who use, or going out downtown where there's going to be a lot of that stuff going on. And I get it. People want to like feel involved and connected, and they don't want to be alone. But like, I feel like a lot of that comes with an unconscious thought that I should be doing something today. It's New Year's Eve. I can't be alone. Like maybe I don't like being alone, but maybe I feel extra alone on a holiday because I have an expectation that I shouldn't be, because I feel like I should be going and doing the things I used to be able to do or that everyone else is doing. Or you know what I mean? People will put themselves in these situations, go to the bars, go to the parties, go around the toxic people because they don't have anything else, and fuck themselves up. You know what I mean? Like get really bad vibes or relapse, or and they probably totally can take the mindset like, well, that wasn't my fault. Like I didn't have a choice. Yeah, you do. You know what I mean? You don't have to do these things. You're putting too much faith in the meaning. You know what I mean? You got to just you the meaning doesn't, just because it's like, oh, every day is the same, whatever, like if every day doesn't matter, doesn't take away the meaning. There is still meaning. But there you have to, it's kind of like the ego. Like you just have to acknowledge that the meaning, but not let it be
Mm-hmm.
everything, you know? That's
Yeah.
all I really wanted to say.
So I guess this is just one of the. This is just another part of early recovery that we were talking about, where you have to learn to where you have to just adapt to a new life. You have to say goodbye to the old life and you have to adapt to the new life.
Mm-hmm.
So the so when I was adapting, I had to it all was there at once and then it gradually just died away. So I would still go to parties, but it was like I would go to parties not just on holidays. I would just go to parties. And then therefore on New Year's Eve, I would go and be around friends who are drinking on New Year's Eve. And when I started learning that this is not good for me, I stopped like going to parties and then I realized if I can't go to parties, New Year's Eve is not any more special. It's, just if I'm done doing this, I have to be done altogether.
Hmm.
So I couldn't make that excuse anymore of, well, it's New Year's. It's it's just another one of them excuses to put yourself in that situation where the disease is creeping back in. So I don't know how to explain this. It's really hard for me to explain it. I'm probably not making sense, but
No, you are.
um
To me, anyway.
like, for example, us, right? We 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 knew, New Year's Eve is like New Year's Eve, right? But we celebrated it without that, because we learned that new way of life. So for people that, I guess we're talking about people that are early in recovery that haven't strayed away from that yet, that those would be the people that would get pulled into that, where I guess New Year's Eve takes on a whole bigger meaning. But
I don't think it has to be an early recovery thing. I
well,
think people could still have that underlying thing, like I gotta go to my mom's house, even though, everybody there is really not good for me to be around, or I gotta go to a party, even though I can abstain from drinking because I've got 2, 3, 4 years of recovery, but I still feel like I have to go. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure there's a fair amount of people out there doing that. It could be an early recovery thing. Like it is definitely probably more so something people do need to hear in early recovery, but I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people with more time than I do who still kind of do things thinking they have to. All right, what are your thoughts?
all right, so I did kind of understand a little bit, but not fully. So it does not have to be an early recovery thing, but it's one of the bigger ones. But it's about fully accepting the thing that, within the first step is about accepting that you're an addict, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And having that full acceptance, I guess acceptance kind of happens gradually, and it comes in pieces, and then we have different levels of acceptance of us being an addict, and there's just certain parts that we don't fully accept sometimes. Like, I don't want to put myself on this fucking pedestal, but after studying myself for a few years and my emotions and what being an addict is, I learned that being around people like, drinking or using or whatever, no matter what the circumstance, no matter whether it's a holiday or not, I will feel a way about it. It makes me feel a way, and I I beat it into my fucking brain 1,000 times that it makes me feel like shit. It just I hate the feeling after. So that is the part where, here, these are the facts. I'm an addict. I'm an absolute addict, and I can't put myself in these situations no matter what. There, and I found a new way of life, like going back different ways of celebrating different holidays. I buy non-alcoholic champagne and I pretend it's fucking champagne
While you're driving down the road.
while I'm driving, scaring the shit out
Hey
of
guy, look
people
at me.
and having so much fun. Like, so yeah. And
It's really just sparkling grape juice. I
uh,
would not recommend NA beer.
and then, like you're talking about Mark, I don't think it's a what?
I'll just bleep that out.
You said his name.
Well, I wasn't recording.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. Some other NA member.
Arf!
There's a lot of editing you're gonna have to do to this fucking
Fucking
pod,
A,
dude.
We'll see you in 2023.
Anyways, another NA member where he has a backup plan. So I think you can still, it's okay to still like attend weddings and stuff and then have a backup plan and then just take off. You know what I mean? Because that's what I would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I did that at my sister's wedding where, I went. First of all, I had a plan to only go on like a lunch break. You know what I mean? Like I had a job where I could take like 2 3 hour breaks and go back. And I was like, I'm gonna go instead of requesting the whole like half day off just to like have the rest of the night. I don't want to be there for the whole thing. I'm gonna go a little after it starts, like after people start migrating there. You know, I'm gonna stay for the ceremony, and I'm gonna hang for like a half hour after, because by then people are gonna be dancing. I'm good on that. Drinking, I'm really good on that, and it's just not gonna be my scene, right? So I got there early, got to kind of do my thing, mingle. Every time I went outside, people were smoking. Like I literally, it was at like a reception. No, it was at the Holiday Inn. So I go out like the door is there and they're just smoking a blunt right there. I'm like, okay. So I like go off to the side. Not really triggering, whatever. It was random. It's not like I went somewhere where I knew it was gonna be there around my homies who I'm standing next to talking to. It was just there. Um Go inside, yeah, they have a bar there, but people aren't really turning up like that. We eat, they get married. Within 20 30 minutes after that, people are trashed. You know what I mean? They're just that's all they're doing is drinking and bullshitting now. So I was out. You know what I mean? Like it was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Like I came, I saw you got married. You're not even gonna notice if I leave. I'm out. You know what I mean?
Right. And then the whole family thing, like that is like a whole nother spectrum. That's why I'm like, it threw me off a little bit when talking about family, because that just goes in with, just because they're family doesn't mean that you have to do everything with them.
Right.
And if your family, your recovery comes first, always. You have to make that vow to it for the rest of your life. So, no matter, nothing has to come between it. So, even your family. And that's why the holidays are a tough time, is because the people who actually do this recovery thing right, they have to fucking cut a lot of people out on that day, or
Well,
be a
there is no right answer because some people need, not to cut you off, but like before we get too far from it, like some people need their social interaction. Some people need their sense of belonging. Some people need their family dynamic. Like some people would do worse by cutting these things off than they would by keeping them and dealing with some triggers. You know what I mean? As long as they're keeping their recovery first, it doesn't have to be one or another. You can set a boundary. You can go to moms for Christmas, even if they're toxic or there's drug use, and you can leave when you need to leave as long as you're staying true to yourself, as long as you are remaining aware of your indicators and not pushing yourself too far thinking you're freaking Superman, right? Like instead of sitting there like, oh, kind of want to drink, but I got this. I got this. Oh, I'm gonna go stand over there by them while they're smoking this blunt, even though I probably don't really need to go over there. I'll see them in a minute, but you know what I mean. People insert themselves because they get a little too cocky, and that was just my point. Like, but some people need this. Like, not everybody can cut everyone out. Not everybody can isolate. Not everybody can like totally, because that's what I did. But I don't mind being alone. So I was like everybody just back up. And I had to come to understand that not everybody's like that. Some people really value um, some of these relationships. So I just wanted to throw out that little disclaimer.
Well, fucking God.
It's not meant to happen.
Can you
No, it's
just
not
hand me
meant
that,
to
please?
happen tonight.
What I was gonna finish saying before you went off on that is that this is why we throw those NA events, is for people to come, get the social part in without any of the triggers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that is a great solution for things like that.
No, it can be for sure.
And but yeah, I'm one of those people who it is harder on me to be alone because I like social things. But I what did I end up doing? Yeah, the New Year of 2020? No, New Year of 2019 was the last one that I spent at like a party. But I remember when it got too triggering, I just ended up taking off. Yeah. And then New Year of 2020, I was kind of stuck where people were drinking, but it was at a restaurant. Because I was in Mexico, a whole different country. And yeah, I couldn't stay home alone. But I was pretty present. I I didn't get too much in my head about it. So, and then all the others after, I spent them with someone who doesn't use at all. So,
Sounds like a great guy. Oh yeah, and it's just kind of coming together. So could we talk about the things
yeah.
and get away from this holiday mess? The things. Um so like I really wanted to talk about the things cuz the things are the things that people suggest you to do, but we're like, that I get that works for y'all, but it's not necessarily going to work for me. Um what are some of the things that you do?
So, I do the suggested things that I was told to do by people,
Hmm.
but then I also had to find my own thing on top of that because I got to know myself and what makes me better with recovery and what, you know. So, but that I had to do soul searching for that. So, the
So you didn't
things
start out doing the things right away?
I started out doing the things, but not so okay, the things were uh meetings and a sponsor, steps.
You started out doing the things?
Wait. Oh, I for some reason like thought my recovery started like when I first started going to meetings. I forgot about like those first 2
Well,
years.
your recovery did. Your
So
abstinence, however, started.
yeah, okay. So when I got out of rehab, I did get told to do the things. And I decided I was special and I didn't need them. Or not that I was special, but I just was so I was so scared to go to a meeting
Hmm.
and be around people
I
who
didn't know
are
that.
addicts in recovery, that I was like, I just want to be I want to do this thing alone. I want to like just
Huh.
fucking do this on my own. And my method was to fill up my day with gym gym work, and
Who's
then
Jim?
and then coming home and just fucking until morning And that lasted for a few months, and then I was moving in with my best friend and spending every waking moment with her and uh getting out of myself completely. And I didn't do any of the things, and I was miserable. And then eventually I decided maybe I should try one of the things. So once I tried the one thing, then all the things came along. And I'm like, okay, this actually works.
Yeah, like I don't know. I didn't get when I first got sober in 2009. I didn't do any of the things, like none. You know, hey, you need to get rid of some new friends. Nah. You need to get rid of the old friends. Nah.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like you need to go check out a meeting. Nah. You know what I mean? None of the things. You know, I did the life things I thought I should do, like get another job, go back to college, you know, pay bills, get my own place, get a car. Like I did those things, get my kids. Um, but there were no program things that I would even allow to like come in to reject. You know, it was just I'm not doing any of these things. Um, it was totally miserable. I don't know how you made it 2 years. And for me, it was. I mean, I've talked about it before. It was just I didn't have a good idea of what meetings were like. Like the ones I'd went to, people were just talking about what kind of drugs they got, or NA. I don't know. I really just viewed NA and AA as like places you go when you're on probation. You know what I mean? So I didn't think I had anything to gain from that. But I didn't give it a shot either. But none of the things this time around. I felt like I would do the things I rejected before. I was ready to do this time. So I did put up boundaries and cut out some friends. I did go to meetings. I did try to make new friends. Um, I did see, but then I rejected step work for a while and getting a sponsor. I still don't utilize a sponsor as much as maybe I should, but I also don't really feel like I need to that often. I have a good diversified support group where I don't just have one person for any one thing, but that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, the things were just like because a lot of people are really hesitant to suggestions. And I'm noticing it like in my job, I noticed it within myself, I noticed it with people in meetings. So I just wanted to talk about the things and how beneficial they could be and acknowledge the resistances.
Yeah, I forgot that one thing I did do was I ended up changing my environment. But my resistance, I don't know, like I don't know what other people's resistance is, but mine was like going to meetings is just like I have to that's where I have to show my true self. And I was not ready to
Mm.
face my true self. Cause I bullshitted my way through rehab and I was not ready. Um so that was mine. But then like yours is probation. That's people that well, here's the thing. The resistance comes from not having that point of desperation.
Right.
It comes from not actually wanting it. Because if you want it, if you really, really want it, you are open to anything. So that second time when you came back, it's like you were ready because you were desperate to change,
Well, what
right?
it was for me was the first time around, I really didn't think anybody had anything else to. I had it all figured out. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
I quit using, and I truly believed that if I quit using, life would get better. You know what I mean? I thought using was the problem. Spending money on drugs, being high, the attitude I would get in while I was high causing me problems. So I thought getting clean would be enough. And when people were like, "Hey, you need to
Mm.
like do some inner work. Hey, you need to like let go of some resentments, you know, like these grudges you're holding on to with all these people that keep you so negative and down. I'm not forgiving them." You know, it was all or nothing type. You know, I've just a whole bunch of those type of things. Like, I'm not the problem. I was just using. Like, you guys should excuse all my bad behavior because I was high. You know what I mean? I know that that's not what I would do if I wasn't high. So, like, I don't need to go dig and say sorry for it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I really felt that way. And so there wasn't really a whole lot of gratitude just pinged right off my head. Like, I didn't feel like I had anything to be grateful for anyway. So therefore it was like, what, I'm supposed to be grateful that my baby mom like did me dirty and I'm living in this like trailer and you know living by myself and poor me, poor me, poor me. Like I would have found every problem in the situation, instead of being like, damn, dude, your bills are paid, your mouth is fed, you see your kids on the weekends, you have a car, you have a job, people like you there. You know what I mean? Like I could have found so many things to be grateful for, but it was the furthest thing from my mind. Like my mind was set to find another problem. If every problem I had magically went away, I would go seek for a problem. I would go find a problem to be there it is. That there's more reasons to say poor me. You know what I mean? Because that's the mindset I had. So I don't know why I resisted meetings. I didn't think meetings could offer these types of awakenings, I guess. So I didn't really know what I was missing. I had the idea that meetings are just a place you go to because you can't not use. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what a lot of people still think today. Like, oh, I have to go to meetings the rest of my life. Well, fuck, man, how long do I got to go to these classes? Fucking classes. But it's like I feel like I give them that hippie answer, you know what I mean? But it's true. It's like I get to go to meetings. Like I want to go to meetings to see blah, 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 and so and blah blah blah. Because I want to be there for them. I want to see that newcomer come in fresh off of opiate withdrawal, so I can be freshly reminded, like, that's what happens if you start to think you got this, and maybe you can go back with your mindfulness and shit. Um, I like to be there for the next person. I like to see the lights come on in people and to know that maybe something I said helped them. Like it really gives me a lot of purpose. And I need to be reminded of the simple things like gratitude and doing the next right thing and looking in the mirror because shit, I will forget, man. And I'll get real comfortable in some human behaviors real quick. But yeah, I think that's where a lot of my resistances came from. And it's not really something any of us can tell each other. I can't tell you like, oh, you really got to do this, and you can't tell me I really got to do that until we're at that point where we're ready and seeing a need for it. And maybe seeing it work in someone else.
And just getting a place of humility where you're just like, oh damn, I really don't know how to fucking do this shit. And I don't know how to do it on my own. Because that one was a big one for me. I realized that I can't do it on my own. Because I really, really wanted to be independent.
Right.
That was a big one for me. I had this drive to prove something to the people who I didn't feel I was good enough. Nothing I did was good enough. I wanted to prove to them like, hey, I could do this on my own. Just please give me all this validation. And then that was like the subconscious thing behind that. But then I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I have other ways to do that.
Right.
So
something I just thought of, another reason I didn't go to meetings then, and I'm really surprised I went to meetings getting clean this time because I felt the same way, is I felt so good. You know what I mean? Like when I got sober the last time, it was like, I'm doing great. I don't need to go to meetings because I feel good. I got this. I don't want to use, right? And I am relying on that present mood or that current state acting like it's just going to be there and maintain itself. You know what I mean? And this time around too, it was like I felt great after like 3 or 4 days of getting clean. Like after I got out of detox and then still wasn't really into meetings, but like I felt like I'd be okay, at the time. Like I felt like I'd at least not use because the pain of drug and, dependency was all right there. And I was like, once I get away from the pill like withdrawal phase, it's like, oh God, I don't want to go through that again. But that goes away. The pain goes away. The fear goes away, and if I think I got it, now I really don't want to go to a meeting because why am I going to waste my time going to a meeting? Why am I going to work on these steps? What is a step? Why am I going to go digging deep into my childhood or in my inner core and behaviors if I feel good? I stopped using. What more do you want from me? You know what I mean? Like, why do I want to go look at my flaws? You know what I mean? Why do I want to go say sorry to someone who has just as much of a part in it as I do? Not knowing that it's going to feel really good to mend these parts of my past. People will treat me better, less bullshit I got to deal with tomorrow. Um, and just for me, I don't know, it just felt good to start doing the right thing. But I'm surprised I went because I did feel so good going to rehab. And even when I was leaving, I got to a point where I liked meetings and stuff and reading was one that really got big on me. But like, when I was leaving, I don't think I was really planning on going to a meeting. Like they're like, do the 90 and 90. I think I kind of got on board with that. Like, you know what? I'll try it. And I'm surprised I did, to be honest. I think if I didn't go to outpatient and they had like meetings there and people I vibed with and got familiar with, I don't know if I would have went. But I'm really glad I did because it was a game changer. I'd say like most of my closest people these days are people I've met in recovery. And we don't hang out or anything like that. I mean, I date one of them, live with one of them, so she's around a lot. But
Yeah, and meetings is one thing. There's also a lot of people who will attend meetings but not do anything else, who think that just meetings are enough.
mm,
Don't do steps, don't do nothing else. So that is a big one, I feel like. And that, I feel like I want to compare it to my situation where I was just, staying abstinent and change my environment. I was doing all those external things um, just to get by, but not wanting to look in deeper.
right.
Just wanting to stay on the surface because I'm not ready to fucking face myself. Because my biggest fear was in the meeting, I have to face myself when I come here. Some people will come to the meeting and they'll just be like, yeah, I had a good day. I went hunting and blah, blah, blah. Like, I know when I go into the meeting, I have to tell them what the fuck I felt today. Why? And, show my defects, show my flaws. Like, I know I have to.
I'm not gonna get anything by just coming and telling you what I did today.
No.
Or telling you about all the things that
So I had to catch myself at that part and like just getting by like right outside of it.
mm-hmm.
And then some people they'll get through the wall, but then there would be like a whole nother, and it's just still like floating on the top. And but when you are ready to fully face yourself, when you're just, because as soon as I came into the meetings, I jumped on those fucking steps, that fucking sponsor, those fucking numbers. Like, yes, okay, I finally got to release myself. Like, this is not bad. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? But yeah, so when you're finally ready, it's like you want it all. You want to embrace it all. And everybody has, because people say, like, well, this doesn't work for you, but this, you don't have to go to meetings, you can have other things. So it's like, that is true partially because we have, like meetings are a great guide for it, steps are a great guide, but you can do other things, like you're not a step person, but you like read a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of stopped being a step person because I do a feelings inventory where that's what I need the most. I could do more with the steps, but maybe I'm just not ready for it yet. So everybody ends up forming their own thing that they do, and it's different. Like it's different for everybody to just really go in deep into yourself. Like therapy, meditation. There's so many different things. Like
You can listen to the recovery pod.
yeah, start up
As long as you take some things from it and fucking apply it.
right.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like there's no one set pathway to recovery, and there's no set one pathway in recovery. You know what I mean? The steps are a great indicator. They're a great starting point. They're a great start and end point. They're great. They give you so much like layered things, especially if you get with a sponsor and work through them. And they have the working guide. The working guide's amazing. Like it takes every step. You would think step one, I admit that I'm powerless over my addiction. Okay, no, step one. You know what I mean? But like there's like 15 questions in the step working guide that really break down different ways you have been powerless in your addiction. And it's like, whoa, I never even would have thought of some of these questions, and each one makes me think differently.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you want to, maybe sometimes like if you're coming in off the street, steps, do the fucking steps. If you're not reading, if you're not doing any like shadow work, if you're not doing any like deep digging into your past or into your faults, and basically doing a further inventory beyond your addictive behaviors, do the fucking steps. You know what I mean? There's not many of them. You can get it done. um but you got to do something. You can't, like you said, you can't just show up to meetings, check in on how your day was, leave, and not think of meetings till you go to another meeting. Like you've got to, and but that also doesn't mean you need to go in with a microscope, completely gut yourself, and do it all on day one. You know what I mean? You got to give yourself time. Like in the beginning, we talked about on that like awakening podcast, like doing the 30-day things, like just getting through the day, being sober, staying away from the party, cutting out some friends, things like that. It may not even be 6 months or a year before you really start to dig into some childhood shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or core beliefs, because it's probably too hard to do in the beginning. Like you can't give me at 3 days sober or 3 months sober my fucking bare soul. It's probably going to be overwhelming, and it probably trip me out real quick. I don't want to think of all the bad things I've done right away because I might not be able to handle it. So little by little. And then maybe that's why our defects continue to present themselves throughout the years. Or shit, I think in my first 2 or 3 4 years I was living great compared to how I used to live in my addiction. But then at year like 4, I'm like, whoa, I have this major defect that has been totally ruling my life the last 4 years. Like something that like I really need to take a look at. Is it detrimental? Is it going to make me relapse? Probably not. Is it like causing great harm in my life and ruining relationships? Not really. But like, is it something I'm glad I found and now I can work on? Hell yeah. Probably something I couldn't have worked on in year one. So it's a process. But you got to do something. If you just show up to meetings, check in about your day or bitch about your past, you leave and you apply no effort, you hang around the same people, you do the same things, you're not doing anything but abstaining. You're going to be the same exact person. You're just not going to be doing drugs, which is good, but you might end up there again. And there's so much more to life by getting out of our own freaking way.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I was not ready to think about the fact that I had. Well, I knew I had trauma, but I wasn't ready to do anything about it until um 6 months into going to meetings. Was it 6 months? It was January 2020. I started seeing a therapist. Yeah, it was 6 months.
6 months, no blunts.
And the thing about meetings is, even those people that are not, they're just coming in, checking in about their day, there's still things that are happening just by them showing up. So thank God at least they show up, because little switches go off every now and then, or inspirations, or to just start doing something, or that, like, hey, gotta try something different. Just hearing others talk, if they're actually listen sometimes, like, yeah,
Right, you're planting seeds,
planting
and
seeds.
they
Yep.
can totally. It's better than nothing. You know what I mean? That's not to downplay anybody who isn't able to dig deep into themselves, or who does just come to meetings and check in because maybe they don't really know how to get deep. And they learn. You see the people who come and share one way, and then after a few meetings, they kind of get it, and they start to kind of curve it a little bit and talk a little more in format, I guess. Um, but yeah, just show coming. It all can add to it. You know what I mean? You're coming to a meeting. You're not using, you know, even if you're woe is me, you're at a meeting. Something's getting through. Just hopefully you begin to realize by the people around you that opening up, getting vulnerable, and showing your real self, and then putting in some effort to make changes. Hopefully, you see changes in the room, and it inspires you to make changes yourself. But fuck, I had something and then totally forgot.
Cool.